can you tell me what are the first must-do steps before moving to Florida?
It's specifically if you're Canadian. Number one, taxation. You want to check in with your tax account, especially if you have a rental property, how that income is going to affect your personal income back home. Obviously, there's some myths with this, but there's a double taxation. So what happens is if you're if you're creating income in the States, you have to pay that tax in the US, and then ultimately that gets subtracted by your Canadian taxation back home. So it's a double tax, but it's really not, because the amount is subtracted when you get back home and you're taxed on the amount that's already been subtracted. And number two is financing options, especially if you're buying a rental property. We have one or two options for you. We have partners out here in the US that can get you a mortgage and financing. So it's basically you're gonna pay a Canadian deposit in Canadian funds, but then you'll get a US mortgage, and then basically your tenants will pay off the US mortgage, which is great. Or we can pull the product back home, and we have other partners that are dealing in the US like TD and RBC, where you can actually take out a line of credit on your home and pay the house in the US in cash, and then you're just obviously obligated to pay the mortgage and back home in Canada. Yeah, so those are the two options right now, or you're paying all cash. Third one, when buying an investment property in the US, specifically here in Florida, is you want to be having a rental property that'll rent year round. It's just not based on tourism, because if there is a downflow in tourism and something happens, like we just had a past pandemic, obviously these properties were affected and they were sitting vacant. So just for safety's sake, I would have something that rents year round for sure. And the fourth rule of thumb is to have an investment property with a set it and forget it concept. You don't want to be micromanaging every little aspect of the rental property, and this is why we've set up a real estate office and also set up a property management company where we are going to be able to handle your and manage your property while you're away. Your only worry should be is your checks getting cashed in and the appreciation is going up on your investment.